All right.
Hey, how are you, sir?
Can I complain?
By the way, anybody care about the Warren versus Sherwood lawsuit? Federal lawsuit. A week from tomorrow.
It's already been dismissed.
It's been dismissed?
Yes, sir. We got a separate one.
Oh, okay. Did you hear that? Did you get that? She said that lawsuit's been dismissed. Wow.
Lawsuit. We interviewed this guy.
We'll see about that.
There's a press release, Mr. Lee.
We'll see about that. Yeah, I'm gonna make a phone call.
What is it?
I just speak to the ladies and I know what you have. Okay, folks, this is Can You Adjust the Right Angle here. I've been informed of an event regarding the possible lawsuit regarding the city of Sherwood, the city federal government, of misuse of taxpayer funds. I arrived a little bit late to the party, but I'm able to set this up. This will be recorded on Rumble at Just the Right Angle, as well as YouTube Keep Arkansas Legal. There's apparently a federal lawsuit. The mayor has claimed that the lawsuit was dismissed. However, there's been some sort of press release, so that's being looked up. But even if it isn't, just because the federal lawsuit has been dismissed doesn't mean that everything is kosher. There's three other issues. I don't know. There's an individual here named Mike who is informing folks of what is going on. The meeting is about to start in a few minutes. I won't be able to talk over the meeting, but when it starts, I'll just kind of have to listen in. You can follow along. I'll try to post information about this. Wi-Fi here is not the best, but this will be a recording for Podbean. So in a moment, we will see exactly what is happening regarding this issue.
The city had a summary judgment against you all saying that.
Yeah.
She just said that on camera. That's what she said. You don't see it because I filmed it. Text me or something.
I don't know what's going on.
It is 6 p.m. It's time for our October 28th Sherwood City Council meeting. At this time, I would ask for Aaron Evans. He is the Associate Pastor at Faith Baptist Church, and he will be leading us in prayer.
Thank you for this honor. Let's pray. Father in heaven, thank you for the gift of government, for life in a country where the people are blessed to govern themselves, and for the city officials gathered here, these men and women who give their time and energy to serve others. Thank you for living in the hearts of all who call on you and who sincerely believe that you know us better than we know ourselves. You know that we're all a mixture of belief and unbelief. So no matter where we are today, please increase our faith, not in our own ability or wisdom, but in you and your loving care. Now, as your word tells us to, we pray for all those in authority, and specifically for these leaders of our local government. As they make plans about the future of our city, please make their deliberations sweet. Please guard their hearts and guide their thoughts. And most importantly, may your will be done here tonight. We praise you for the gift of your presence may it be felt here in this place this evening. We pray all this in the name of Jesus, your Son, and our Savior.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Brooks. Harmon. Lilly.
Here.
Sanders.
Here.
Williams. Roderick. Thomas. Wade.
You all received the minutes from the regular meeting on September 23rd, 2024 as transcribed.
Move for adoption.
We have a motion by Councilmember Brooks and a second by Councilmember Sanders. Roll call, please.
Thomas.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
Wade. Brooks.
Aye.
You,
Lilly.
Aye.
that's okay.
And I have Brooks twice. Roderick. Yeah.
All right, you all received the September 2024 financials. Any questions? There being none, we do have an announcement by Steve Cobb.
You'll recall, Keith Land, the Oxnard Discipline, that he was district was passed. We had time to get this approval to make an offer settlement in the Ward versus Sherwood case, which you did support that. And the trial was scheduled to commence a week from tomorrow on November 5th, whatever today. Judge will help Billy Wilson signed an order granting the city of Sherwood's motion for summary judgment, and it was ruled in Sherwood's favor on all counts. So the case might go to trial next week. It's very good news.
That's wonderful.
I will ask for Terry Hollingsworth. Please come up at this time. All right. I think basically she was just going to talk about the 2024 election. We've had a record number of people participating, which is great. Early voting's been strong, and I encourage everybody to please get out and exercise your rights to vote. Next up, we've got committees and commissions. Advertising and Promotion Commission, we have Councilmember Brooks. Chairman, please.
We did meet and we are working on our 2025 budget, which we will finalize at our November meeting, which is the first Wednesday in November. We also have been working on for several years the history book, which is finally here. I think everybody received one in their box, and I'd like to publicly thank two Lindas, Linda Bramley and Linda, who worked hard on that. There's a whole slew of people who also worked on that. Beverly helped me, I think you probably know. I kind of stayed out of it. I turned it over to Linda Bramley basically, and because it kind of got bogged down and I turned it over to Linda Bramley, and I think Beverly knows more about it than I do.
What they did is they merged the two books and then took Lisa's edition of 2018 present, copy of the election in 2022. And so you have one bound book that has both the green book and the brown book and the history of Sherwood.
Yeah, I mean, I know that much, but I mean, as far as,
The persons who helped do it.
yeah, as far as the people, I know that much, but who helped on the third, with all the third parts and everything? Lisa Bailey is the author of her.
There were several of us educators who were asked to prove not for content, but for grammar and wordsmith. So, that's the most that we did was to put it in sequence in order, for why we have it first, second, third, and then just to make sure that it's right. Proof, but you have educators, there's a document there, and it had lots of red bars.
So, yeah, so this is the third book that starts after the second book. There's Terry Collinsworth coming in right now. So as soon as I finish my report, I guess we can go back to her. But, so we got there was a first book and a second book. And then, we had the third book authored by Lisa Kelly. And then Lisa, yes, and so Lisa Kelly did some interviews and wrote the book. And then we did a group of educators, and Lisa Ramley kind of headed that up. And so I know, after that was put together, I turned it over to Lisa Ramley to get that going because it had just taken forever to get moving and been on our AP agenda for a long time. And I know back April, as long as you were on it and Charlie had been on it, and this has been there for a while. So the book is called Here. Everybody got one in their box. And for the general public, if you would like a copy of the book, it's a Sherwood history book. It goes back from the very beginning all the way up through the current mayor. And you can get one at the city clerk's office. They're available for a donation. And you may stop by there at any time. The city clerk's office is open, or also the senior citizen center. And that's all. I will turn it back over to you.
I do think we need to be careful. I appreciate everybody trying to, do their best in terms of the history book. There's an entire population of people that have been excluded. Shelby Thomas made history by being the first person of color elected, no mention. We've had professional athletes, churches, a famous jockey of color, many notable people of color that there's no mention of whatsoever. So I would just ask that the next time something like this is done, that we really take a broader look at our city so that we do not exclude almost a third, and I'm sorry, Shelby, that it was overlooked, of what is now our city, because it's, I know that there are some very hurt feelings out there. We've had calls. There's one picture that is, that looks like it's from the Jim Crow era. It's not, but it's the only person of color that there's a picture of. It's a sketch, and the man has a completely black face, no name except for first name, no last name, and he did chores. So I think we've got to be careful, and I appreciate all the work, and we just need to make a more inclusive history book of all of our history.
I would agree with that, Dan. I have not even opened the book, so I can't say one way or the other. The third author, the first two books were authored by different, Eileen Duran wrote the first book. The second book was authored by different individuals, several who are still alive, but most are deceased. The third book, I'm not sure where the author was chosen from, but that author was chosen, and all I was asked is if the Advertising Promotions Commission would pay for the book. That's all, and that's what we did. So
Yeah, I'm not trying to point fingers. I just feel we need to be more inclusive.
And nothing of book 1 and 2 were edited at all. And book 3 was added.
And it probably needs to be. So, all right, moving on. Are you finished?
So I'm finished up. I'll
Okay,
go back to
yes.
Terry then.
So we'll go back and let me introduce our Pulaski County Clerk, Ms. Terry Collinsworth. If you'll please take the podium.
Thank you, and thank you for having me this evening. My name is Terry Collinsworth. I'm your Pulaski County Circuit and County Clerk. My apologies. We got early vote going on. It's a little busy now. So I'm just here to just drum up more votes. That's not for me. Sorry, just trying to get people to go out and vote. And just want to say how excited I am that we had for the first week in Sherwood at the First Christian Church. We had over 1,300 people who voted, and then for the whole total last week, we had over 7,000 people that voted in Sherwood. And Sherwood is always number one. I just want to make sure that the folks out there listening to my voice, and because I know you're hearing this on YouTube and other places, that they go out, they vote, they have a plan, they look up their ballot on voter view so they can see their sample ballot. If they know anybody who needs an absentee ballot, please put that in now, because the last day to request one is Friday, and you got to turn if you requested it yourself, you got to turn it back in on Friday. So we just want to make sure that folks, which is November 1st, so just want to make sure that folks are engaged, they research their candidates, and they go out and vote. That's the only reason why I'm here. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. All right, back to you, Jen. Thank you so much. Parks and Recreation Committee, Councilmember Harmon.
Okay, we did meet last month, the minutes to be packet. Hopefully, that was our last meeting this year, my last meeting. We don't typically meet in November, December. I told them if any emergencies came up and they scheduled an emergency meeting, I'll probably just visit. Now, if you have any questions on that, we had one presentation meeting from the, and I can't pronounce this French word. What? Atelier? The Atelier, and that is French for an artist's studio, I believe. French for an artist studio. And Atelier School of Art, that was exciting, and I thought an outstanding idea. It's for use for the current Duran Youth Center in Sherwood, which is not currently being used for a while. And I've got Oscar and Sarah Wahardo here to make a presentation here to the council. And I think Sarah's going to do some talking tonight.
I will not.
Okay, Oscar, come to talk.
So, thank you for that, for me having to go right after you. That was pretty good. I want to just kind of go over the history of the school and why it exists today. And I want to start off with a little story that that happened to me when I was younger. When I was in elementary school, my father moved us from Chicago to Arkansas at a very young age. And he had a job lined up in Arkansas. And during the day, he'd work as a laborer and go to plumbing school at night. So I was with my mom most of the day and most of the night. And we had one car. So obviously he used it. My mom had to walk everywhere. And because it's Arkansas, we were used to buses and taxis and trains in Chicago, so we got to learn the walking style of Arkansas. So we walked everywhere. My mom saw that I had an artistic skill when I was younger, and she saw that there was a free art class at the Arkansas Art Museum in Little Rock. We lived in Levy, North Little Rock, and she told me about it on Friday. And she said, "All right, we're going to go on Saturday." So we got up and walked to Little Rock. And it was the first time I went to Little Rock, and it was a long walk, and I remember going over the bridge over the river, and it was a very interesting journey. I asked my mom over there to get $1,000. But I was ready. I remember the night before, I couldn't really sleep. It was my first time ever going to anything related to art. And I was laying in bed trying to get all my art ready to show this picture. And I said to myself, man, whatever I'm about to be, that's what I want to be when I grow up. This is a real artist. You know, I've never seen anything like that. You know, I grew up drawing Ninja Turtles and comic books that, you know, my mom and dad bought me. And actually going to a real art school for the first time was a dream come true. And she told me it was just a one-time thing, but I kind of done like soaking in every ounce of this just to, you know, make sure I got it. So I got all my artwork ready, my little green notebook, and we walked and left the house at 6 in the morning and got there before 9, before the class started. And I remember walking into this big white room, and it was nice and clean, everywhere. I sat in a circle, and the teacher walked around looking at our artwork. I was so nervous, got my bag right now. And he got to me, and I gave him a little gray notebook. And the first thing he said was, "Oh, nice." I didn't know what that meant, right? I was like, okay, whatever. And he looked at one or two pieces, and then he just kind of halfway handed it back to me. But you know, not everyone's really cut out for art. You know, you can stay today, but you might want to try something different. I was in 6th grade. I said that to him, and I asked to go to the bathroom, and I cried like out in the bathroom. I was embarrassed, and my mom, you know, didn't know what was going on, so I stood in the bathroom and walked around the gallery. It was my first time even seeing art in the gallery that I remember. And I waited until the class was over because my mom made all this go. And I went outside, gave her a hug, and told her thank you. Now, on the way back, you know, I had a long walk back. And, I said to myself that whatever he says doesn't matter. And I'm going to try my hardest to keep working at it and keep going. And if I ever become a teacher or an educator or anything influenced in art, that's never be that job. Because that should have just crushed me right there. But it really lit a passion and fire. And that's kind of why we're here today. That's the whole reason why this school exists. Because one, I never had a room of my own, so it's like a really cool space. If you ever look at it, it looks like a boys' bedroom, arcade games, and comic books everywhere. But two, it's a really cool place for a kid to go and all in passion and art. And they'll never get to okay, you can't draw a little bit. So that's kind of why we're here. So fast forwarding today, my staff, Tara and I, are very fortunate to have an amazing staff. While Tara runs the process art side, which starts at 30. On the studio side, we have Michael White. She's the current student at UCA. She's about to graduate in art ed. She's about to be a teacher. She helps me with basically all the kids that graduate with Tara side and all up to high school. So we do the studio. We have Chris, he has an MFA. He works with 3D and sculpting and art. So he's very excited about this new space when we saw those kilns. So he's been rolling up for a month. Like, hey, when are we doing this? And we can tell him. And then we have Jake. He's our digital art expert. He's the most popular guy right now because he teaches digital painting and animation. And we're one of the few places that you can go to actually do digital art and animation without it being a university level or online. So it's a really cool feature to have. Together, we build a learning culture, we have fun, and it's a really great place for kids. And all is our mission, which is, we believe in creating inspiring artistic expressions and providing accessible art education to anyone. Accessible to anyone who sees it, right? And that's the whole goal. Like, regardless of who you are, how old you are, this place is we believe in empowering individuals in discovering our own voices and contributing to cultural vibrancy of our city. The students itself, like I said, we start at the age of 3, and we go all the way up to seniors. Our youngest explore art and creative activities while older develop their skills through structured programs. Most importantly, one thing that just blows my mind is we've had kids since the first month, even the first day that we opened. I still have my first student here. Still. And he's grown up, and a lot of them have grown up at this place. They've developed self-confidence and pride in themselves and their schools. They all wear, but the logo, if you see the logo that's on the front of that, it's that pretty guy on there, that's me. Someone told me that I was on Bob Ross, so that's kind of what they ran with. So they all wear t-shirts, they have the stickers on their sketchbooks and their phones and their water bottles. They're proud of the school. Even in daily lives, they all wear regular stuff. When we moved from our first location to where we're at now, we had several kids cry because they were just grew up at that location. So the current location that we're at now, I try to mimic a lot of stuff like paint colors and everything. You don't really have that. So they're going to be a really big surprise. So I think it'll be good. I'm pretty excited about it. We all cried about it, and I think we're going to get for the community. Honoring the past, we recognize that the former youth center holds a deep meaning to our community. And I believe that makes it perfect for the Tulia School Park. Through our programs, workshops, and shows, we aim to carry the legacy of the center for personal growth and communication. Our vision is to make a true hub for artistic expression, not only for visual arts, but for dance, music, creative writing, and theater. We want to offer a space where all these forms of creativity can thrive, providing an open door for any artist and teacher needing the space to share their craft. At the heart of it all, commitment to accessibility and art education, we believe that creativity should be within reach to any institution. We have a little art box that's in front of our school, and it's basically stocked with art supplies and sketchbooks, anyone whoever wants it. And we put it out there because we've seen like food pantries and libraries and stuff like that, but again, just speaking on my behalf, when I was younger, art supplies were hard to come by, so I wanted to do something community where they want get free stuff that's available for them. So it's the first one that we have. It's in front of our school now, but we plan on collaborating with libraries and churches to try to put some more out in the community. And one box that we have, I've been genuinely humbled by the generosity of others and how much they've donated to the box and just bringing in supplies for it, and just seeing like the community come together just for that one box. So just imagine having 5 or 6 out in the city. So, I'm really excited about that. And once we start gearing up toward that, I believe it'll be a really cool future time. Our programs, we have a little bit of those. So with this new space, my vision for my school is fast forwarded probably like 5 years in back, right? Like in my head, I've got pottery coming, I've got this coming, but it requires money, it requires space, and just stuff that I don't have. But with the youth center, it's going to make Sherwood an artistic hub and put us on the map for creativity. I really believe that. And I'm a competitive person. I know we hear a lot about stuff going on in North Rock and rock and stuff, and I want to be on the creative map for the School of Art, like Sherwood citizens or anyone close by that thinks of art, want to think about this place. So with that, our programs start off with process art. It's basically where students can explore and develop familiarity with fundamental theories and techniques. They start off with 3 years old. Our studio classes expand to traditional arts as well as drawing and painting. On the digital front, we offer digital painting, animation, and equipping students with today's skill in digital landscape. We cater to all levels, so if you're just starting out or if you're highly advanced, we have classes for it as well. Following our move, we're thrilled to announce the sculpting and pottery classes we're really excited about that. We're gonna have all kinds of events for pottery and actually have ongoing classes to learn how to sculpt and do pottery. So, after that, we plan on having a full-blown printing studio, a digital photography studio, and learning how to do, use the Adobe suites such as like Photoshop and Illustrator. So again, we'll be one of the only places where you can go and have hands-on instruction in Photoshop and not have to take on class or every class. So it'll be available. Excuse me. Through our nonprofit, we plan to support other creative expressions, offering space for music, creative writing, dance, and theater, providing all for teachers that may not have one. We really believe that having an outlet for whatever type of art that you want to experience, we can provide that. So we're pretty excited about that. So inclusiveness, the Atelier School of Art as a place to explore and grow their artistic talents. The school is committed to being inclusive, welcoming students of all ages and backgrounds and abilities. In small classes, we ensure that students get the attention they need to grow at their own pace. We will accommodate different abilities and learning styles, creating comfort and have an accessible space for everyone. So we have a lot of kids that may have like high anxiety or social skills or stuff that, you know, it's too big of a class. We have classes that are smaller and more quiet, and just cater to that type of thing. And art is a great place for kids that have these type of issues because it's a way to develop their emotions. It's therapy. I think it's a great way to handle with that. So we're also expanding our programs to make art accessible to everyone, with new daytime classes for homeschoolers and senior citizens, as well as flexible night weekend options. The school will be a place for everyone to share, explore, and develop their artistic talents. So we believe that art should be accessible to everyone, no matter their financial situation. Currently, through scholarships and different types of slide scaling fees and free community events, we make sure the costs never vary. But our new nonprofit, the Utility Foundation, we're expanding this commitment, offering more scholarships and resources and opportunities to communities in Sherwood and beyond. We just opened the nonprofit, and the whole mission of that is to give lessons to anybody that can't afford it in art, music, dance, theater, anything that they want to express themselves in. We're going to make it happen, make sure that we have that space for them. And we're there, a lot of space for any educator or teacher that wants to come in. Community involvement. We actively collaborate with local schools, libraries, and community centers to expand our reach and impact. For example, we offer free art lessons at a couple of locations in Central Arkansas Library at least once a month, trying to offer free face paintings and arts and crafts during all the city's social events. For example, we have this year's Christmas birthday and Winter Fest. Our kids are looking forward to that. We can create a lot of people experience that. Tomorrow, I believe we're at Sherwood Elementary for the trunk or treat, so we'll go there as well. During the summer, we provide professional development for teachers, and these classes help educators learn new skills and assignments used throughout the school year. So we have several different types of art classes for educators to come in and learn techniques from highly skilled people, and it's a really fun time to spend your summer. Every year, we host an art show where our students proudly showcase their artwork and connect to the community. They have a chance to earn trophies, places in their age group, and even non-winning artists. We just had it a couple of weeks ago on Saturday. The event was a huge success. Hundreds attended, including students from my first club teaching local art school, so we had a lot of students attend that as well, so they got to participate in the art show as well. It's a very fun celebration of creativity, open to all, and it's definitely one of our favorite traditions that we have. So, very fun. The use and plans of the building. We recognize the importance of preservation as well as historical significance of the former youth center. We aim to honor its legacy by beginning a new chapter focused on creative. To support the programs, we plan on making thoughtful upgrades, like enhancing lights, like a lot of them are like old lights, so we're going to put maybe LED lights in for better lighting for the studios. Create gallery spaces to showcase artwork, and we want to do murals and sculptures for the outside. We want to make sure that when you drive by this youth center, you know that it's all that's cool, and that whole area is just, it's just the artistic of Sherwood. That's not fun. We want the community to know that that's what creates us. The rest of the book is just about our camps, our art shows, community events that we have, and I think there's a lot of pictures about the current art show that we just had. So, any questions on this? Oh, and also, I apologize. Price list for all of our stuff is on the very back page. Thanks a lot.
And how many current students do you have?
Currently, we have, it fluctuates, it's around the 200 mark.
So you're fitting those in that space together like that.
So when we first started, I had a space that was 10 by 10 for a gallery, and then a 10 by 10 room. That was my first space. We expanded, we walked a little bigger, but yeah, our current space, we're already on government, so.
You gave this presentation to Parks and Rec and Parks and Rec Committee at that time, after discussing it just briefly, decided this was an excellent use they thought for the Grand Youth Center, and are recommending it unanimously for consideration by the City Council. And I told him during the interaction with me too that I just think it's outstanding. As a 9-year-old, I was enrolled in the first art classes at the Grand Youth Center with Jeanette Sparks, and then my oldest daughter was enrolled with Minion Hatton there and took lessons with Minion Hatton for years, and that daughter is now a graduate of the University of Arkansas with a graphic arts degree, who works as graphic artist for a 45 in the country. And so, I mean, you never know where that is going to lead for a young person. And I think that I just can't think of a better use for that building personally, because I feel strongly that the arts and sciences have a specific way of developing the mind of a child that leads to all the other developments, whether it's the mathematics, whether it's the sciences, whatever, anything else. It grows a portion of the mind that specifically that right side that just helps with the balance development. So, like I said, we recommend this strongly. I had one question because, as I recall, there's no extra charge above the classroom charge for the use of that building. Is that right? Do you charge for the use of the building for us?
Not currently, no. For digital art, everything's included. So whatever class you sign up for, we don't charge for art supplies or anything like that. So the monthly fee has everything, just come as you are, and we'll take care of the rest.
Well, a parent who is slave to the charge for building Photoshop for years, that's right.
Mayor, I'd like to comment that we granted, I did call, checking that it's already this. My mother was an artist, so my home has got her artwork all over it, well, so I do appreciate art. I tried, that gene might get passed this way. But I was wondering, because I was looking, this is an R about, planning and zoning. This is an R1 neighborhood. And according to, well, I put up stuff about R1 is allowed, and I called Shelby about it, but it didn't this is a business, and even though it's not a school, it's still a business. I'm not seeing that, I feel like we probably have to do public comments before we can approve this and have it, a conditional use put on it to match our own zoning code about the R1.
I asked James to come up and speak to that.
I called Shelby about it.
So, when we took a look at this, you're about to get into a lot of minutia of the zoning code, and there's a lot of technicalities. And so when you get down to that level, there's different ways of interpreting it. One way to look at this is that this is a continuation of the existing use that essentially is still owned by the city, and it's somebody that's leasing it and operating that use, or that use. That is one interpretation. An additional interpretation could be that this is converting to an entirely different use as a school. That is what I would call a more conservative interpretation of the code. In that situation, then one would say it requires a conditional use. In our discussions with Mr. Cobb, one of the things that comes up that I think is a particular issue is, are we regulating the activity on the property, or are we regulating the people? And that to me is a kind of a serious question, because it comes down to, if we take one interpretation, then it's approaching it as this is continuing, we have use on the property, continuing use on the property. The other would be an interpretation that basically says it's okay if it's operated by so-and-so, but it's not okay if it's not operated by a different person.
Mr. Cobb had the same conversation a week or so ago, but it's up to me, and it's okay if the city does art in the building, but we let anybody else not do art in the building, we're gonna have to set up a food. That's the standard. And I think that's appropriate. And if so, as long as it's the same use, then I think that zoning is required, because like I said, we're simply creating hoops because of who the waters are versus who the city is.
Additionally, there is an opportunity for protections, since it is a city facility. The city has the ability to control the terms of the lease for that, which has a lot of the same practical effects.
I just want to make sure we're following our own procedures regarding.
There are a lot of minor technicalities.
Yeah.
That we defer to Mr. Cobb on this, and I would say that there's a sound rule there to allow it to proceed.
Steve,
I agree with that. We talked about it. I think Charlesville is going to take that out.
just want to make sure, because it's not like, it's a business going into an R1 neighborhood and not that stuff that way. We've done so much stuff that I've done, the question of the that.
I have a question. So it says on here, we're considering a lease. So we're just negotiating the lease right now. We're not entering into any type of agreement tonight at all.
Correct, that would come before the council, most likely next month.
So we get to see the lease.
Oh, absolutely.
The resolution I asked for was simply to the city council to approve the mayor to enter into negotiations for lease at the council at a future time, which I thought was consistent.
So all we're doing right now is just listen to the man's presentation. We have all the time to consider the legal implications, consider the lease. So right now we're not entering anything. So I think this is the time to have a whole month to think about it and to do it have next month.
I need to, and we have a resolution I need to read, if we'd like to continue on that discussion.
One more question.
Yes, ma'am.
So that meant the presentation from Adam in July, was doing something else to the experience grant. The revenue center is still possible
It is possible. We have been told that, when we did the research, they typically do not give a city a grant 2 years in a row, so that's highly unlikely that we would receive that grant. So that would mean a whole nother, we can talk about it again, because there was some resistance from the area. Maybe that's not what we do over there. But that would be a whole nother grant process, and you all would have to approve that. So,
What kind of resistance?
well, at the public hearing, there was no one from the neighborhood that spoke, that was actually for it. The people who came to the public hearing, were concerned about there being basketball, that there could be parking issues, and things such as that. There was no one who was possible for it. I do too.
I'm not against our look.
Yeah, they're not mutually exclusive. Before we go to the resolution, does anybody else have any questions for Mr. Guajardo?
Last name?
Guajardo? Oscar Guajardo. Guajardo. That close enough?
That's right.
He did not sign up.
He didn't sign up to speak, I'm sorry.
If there be none for our speaker, then we'll move on to the resolution. I think, as you guys can see, it's got a long track record. He's a good businessman, and he runs an incredible art school. So,
Thank you, Oscar.
next up, we have a resolution for consideration by the City Council of leasing the Durand Center building.
Move to adopt the resolution.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lilly and a second by Councilmember Robert. Roll call, please.
Thomas.
Aye.
Herman.
Aye.
Williams. Sanders.
Aye.
Wade.
Aye.
Brooks. Roderick. Lily.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you all for coming and doing the presentation.
Thank you. Yes,
I
thank you.
think this will be a great asset for us. Next up, we have planning commission. We have, I guess we got, okay, yes. And, do you want James also, or, no, okay, great. We've got an ordinance amending the, official zoning district maps for the property located at lot 19 RR Marywood Edition and for other purposes. This was read twice. And floor is yours.
Good evening, Shelby Notice, city planner. So with respect to this item, the applicant did email me today, has requested withdrawal the rezone request.
That is the zoning.
Correct.
We had someone who had signed up to speak.
This is Gil. This is Gil.
Are you still wanting to speak? It's been withdrawn.
It's been withdrawn, you still want to speak, Mr. Hill?
Okay.
I'm good.
Next up, we've got an ordinance amending the official zoning districts maps for the property located at 8900 Highway 107 and for other purposes. This was read once at the September meeting.
Yes, so this next item on the agenda, I went to planning commission, we have scheduled a public hearing, and that will be at the November planning commission meeting, so this will be read one more time this evening, please.
Moving on, we've got item C, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute a deed conveying lands from the city of Sherwood to a property owners association and for other purposes.
Okay, so this next item, this is actually not a recent planning commission item, but this went in 2023 as a final plat. And long story short, on the final plat, in a little tiny general notes, it dedicated a massive tract of land to the city of Sherwood. And it was denoted as a green belt since the POA and homeowners in the area wish to maintain it. So this is a dedication conveying the lands back to the POA.
Went out there and drove the saw this weekend. It's just the power lines through it in the area. So,
Right.
Yes. Yes, and this would actually help our public works department to not have to
Maintain, yes.
Move for adoption.
We have a motion by Councilmember Broderick and a second by Councilmember Wade. Roll call, please.
Thomas.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Sanders. Wade.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Broderick. Lily.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
For the record, the motion is made by Councilmember Brooks, not Councilmember Broderick.
Did I say that? I'm sorry. It's the big thing again. All right, next up, we've got street committee, Councilmember Lily.
Street committee did not meet, had a lack of a quorum and no pressing, business and nothing new. So, if the agenda stays as such, then, we likely will not meet in November or December either. If there's anything pressing that comes up, we will meet, but I'll make that decision closer to the time of the meeting.
Next up, we have an ordinance approving the use of eminent domain for acquisition of needed property for the Power Line Trail Improvement Project and for other purposes. And I know you all always have questions, so Mr. Cobb, if you would give a little.
This is not unlike what we did when we came to council regarding Jacksonville Town. We have experts in acquisition that are working with us, that are in the process of negotiating with various property owners. They're doing the title work, they're looking into the title histories to find out who we need to be talking to. And sometimes it gets pretty complicated, okay, document does. And so I felt it prudent to ask the council to go ahead and give us, the ability to use eminent domain for the acquisition of this property so that the projects can move forward. It doesn't say we're not, that we were going to stop the negotiations, we're not. That's always the best way to go. And you're going to see something here on the agenda later where there were negotiations and when we reached an agreement. But I thought it prudent to ask you to let us use this tool. And what this would result in, if we do have to use it, is the posting of funds with the court that is show the good faith of the city based upon appraisal that we've got from a professional record, what the fair market value of the property is, what the property owner would be entitled. At the same time, the court gives us a right of entry to the property so that we can continue the project. So the aspect of compensation is still there. There will always be here. But it also allows the moving forward of the project. It doesn't slow it down to the extent that it brings things to a halt. It's a fair balance between a municipality and a property.
And in this particular case, it's, and this happens sometimes where you can't get clear ownership and title. And that's what we're up against is there's dispute amongst family as to who owns property and all that fun stuff. So we're kind of in the middle of it, and the title company has spent a great deal of time trying to unravel, because sometimes these things can be very complicated in terms of bills and different things. So that's the situation that we're at.
I know, that's fine, but my kind of 16, it's just that travel around that red part, right?
Well, we don't want to limit it in the structure. We'd like to have the council's approval to utilize this whenever we anticipate we're running into a problem, whether it's going back time after time. The one that has gotten our attention to bring this to you, is actually 3 tracts, from a family, Longstreet family, tract 16, 17, and 18. That's what we're looking at, and I'm asking you, I would be my preference now, not to limit us to just those specific tracts. If we encounter this in the future, knowing that we're working in good faith, try to negotiate a problem, purchase the property if we can, that would be the next step.
In this 150-page document, y'all gave us from
Appraisal.
the appraisers and the root associates, on page, that one page regarding the finances, $56,000, is that there?
That's a different, that's not this
That's not
property.
the property, that's the next.
Okay. Can I ask you, so, this is the hard part, are there property owners who don't want the city?
No, that's not what this is about. It's just we can't get clear title. No one is saying, on these issues that we're working on. No, it's just, we've got one group of people saying, I own it, and we've got another group of people saying, no, we own it, and
If nobody's contesting the sale, that they're going to have to give up that piece of real estate.
To my knowledge, no one has said that they are opposed to it. But that's where the court comes in, because they are the protector, if you will, of the individual property owner, and it gives them the opportunity to come in and say, my property is way more than what they're offering. And so it actually doesn't go to the jury if it goes that far. And determine fair compensation.
This ordinance allows them authority to move forward. If somebody does say, I don't want you to take the property, I don't want this construction property, this ordinance allows them to move forward and put it in court, so the money in court and continue the construction project.
Right, I think what gives me pause is sidewalks are, right on the road, it's very common, easement for the city to, if they're gonna build a sidewalk, but this is very different than the normal, that's why I wonder if people are upset about, you see this can be made in people's backyards.
no, this is just, I believe this is just lots.
So,
Yeah, there's no homeowner, on these properties that we're talking about. These are, yes. Once
This
again,
ordinance though does say power to find trail.
yes.
Okay, so it's not all inclusive for first or future, like it has to do with the power line trail, correct?
correct.
Okay.
Open-ended. Open-ended, unlimited number of tracks. Forever,
I don't know if it's forever and ever.
Just-
It's still the project, it's a project.
Yeah.
That's been labeled and specified with a set amount of tracks.
So what's the potential exposure here from a number of properties perspective? And are we dealing with 10 different tract owners, are we dealing with 100, I mean, what are we looking at?
Well, I think once these are cleared up, there's, I think it's Stonehill LLC has a bunch, called a wide swath. You've got in here the, Austin Gardens, that was already in here. There's the Metropolitan, school apartment complexes. There's, we had originally, there'll be, the land trips, potentially maybe River City Hydraulic just bought some of their property. I don't think if there's any. So, I mean, it's,
Sounds like quite a few.
well, most of them,
Substantial number.
well, yeah, most of them we are in the, I mean, it's very regulated. Remember, this was all done through multiple grants and so forth. So it's very regulated as to, they have to do the appraisals, they have to offer X amount, and how they do the calculations and so forth. This is not a stab in the dark that, well, we keep your properties for, it's not like that at all.
How much money was in the budget for property
Uh, it's under, I think, street, is that Brian? Somebody called me, I don't know where that's.
Yes, it's in street,
It's all built into that.
it's included, right, in the line that is power line trail. Correct. Okay. So, which is on the legal size paper of the budget, you have page 2436, count 112-71097 power line trail, $919,200 is total budget in that line.
That includes this property acquisition.
Now, this is not gonna be the amount is not substantial. It's, do you have the actual?
These three that we're looking at is 3,100 for one track, 25,200 for another track.
That's not it's not about the money on those tracks. It's just we can't get clear title. So. Other questions? Once. Okay, well, we'll have it on the agenda next month, or next time. Next up, we have a resolution approving the acquisition of temporary construction easements and permanent easements in connection with the power line trails. That's the appraisal that you were previously referencing, and no, that is not the fee. That would be the amount that they would be receiving.
Yeah. So this amount of 56,000 is the maximum that would be utilized? That's
So, yeah, so once again, that's the amount that, when they have done the evaluation and everything else, plus there's also the $500 that you went through there for the temporary construction easement. So it's not a maximum, I mean, that would be it. Correct. So that this one can move forward. That's what they've agreed, yes, they've agreed to that with Walker based upon the professional analysis that was done.
So this resolution is passed, and the cost is about $56,000. That our resolution?
Well, it's $5,950 plus $500. So we'll go to 56.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that makes sense.
I said that.
So,
This
is this in the middle of, this is not, so the power line trail, that this is more or less in kind of in the middle of the, well, not, this isn't at the start, so this is, the power line trail doesn't start here. So this is kind of like, this is not, what I'm asking is, we're doing this kind of backwards almost, because we're being, this is just gonna be a piece in the middle.
Okay, so it's not really backwards. As we are able to get these things resolved, the title, like there was some title issues and so forth, because there's a homeowners association, we finally got all that cleared up. So as soon as they get each of these parcels cleared up, then we're able to then, with the set amount, able to then come to council. If it's a small amount, like that previous one was, that's within the spending limit, well under it. But the rest of them are gonna be more substantial, maybe not this amount, but enough to where they'll be coming before council. So basically, it's not necessarily that you do them A, B, C, D, E, F, G in order as soon as we can get them wrapped up so that we can move on to the next one and the next one. This project has been in the works for quite some time, and it's just, we're trying to get this thing wrapped up and moving as quickly as we can.
What is the timeline, do you think, on the power line trail as far as?
It's just how quickly we can get these closed.
Is this basically the last step before we get started?
Then we put it out for bid, and then they start construction. I feel like the construction part will go very quickly. The other thing too is it helps to, as soon as we can, the expenditures of these things helps encumber the project, and so it keeps us in compliance as well. So that's why they're like, as soon as you get them closed, move, you know. I mean, the Metro Planning we got the grant for, they would love for us to be done with this project, just like we would. So,
I think the concern is that we put monies forth to, close these out, and then we get further down, and then we're stymied, and we can't go any further, but we've already purchased, property. So, I mean, is there potential that that's gonna happen?
no, sir, because that's what if it gets down to that, then you can utilize and donate to go ahead and move forward with the project while they do the negotiations.
Sure, okay.
I can tell you that the Andy Collins group, they are very excited about the project. One of the apartments complex, actually, the new owners changed the name of the apartment complex to Sherwood Trails because it's going to be on the trail. We've had great, talks with the links. So, I mean, it's all moving in the right direction. It's just that all is going forward. So,
A lot more about the new properties that sit on trails like that, walking trails.
yes.
Move for the adoption of the resolution.
I'll second.
Motion by Councilmember Lilly, and was the second by Councilmember Williams. Make it different. Thank you.
Thomas. Harmon. Williams.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
Wade. Brooks.
Aye.
Roderick. Little.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Next up, we have a resolution appointing Ashley Williams to serve the remaining term, replacing Jody Abernathy to the City of Sherwood Planning Commission. Ashley, can you please stand up? We are very fortunate to have someone of Ashley's caliber. Don't know if you all read her resume. She is a certified economic and community developer. She is very knowledgeable about planning. She helps communities all over the place when it comes to these types of issues. And I thank you for being willing to serve on our planning commission.
Move for the adoption.
Second?
We have a motion by Councilmember Harmon and a second by Councilmember Brooks.
Thomas. Harmon. Williams. Sanders. Wade. Brooks.
Aye.
Roderick. Little.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
And that last one was done separately because it was filling a term and it helps the city clerk and when they reference things, otherwise it would have all been together. Next up, we have a resolution reappointing and appointing certain persons to serve on various Sherwood boards and commissions. We've got Jeff Harold and Kimberly Housley. I know, if you could please stand, Kimberly, for NEP, and then Public Facilities Board, Ed Williams. And you all received their information. And once again, it's great to have people willing to put forth their time and serve the community. Do we have a motion?
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Thomas and a second by Councilmember Williams.
Thomas. Harmon.
Aye.
Williams. Sanders. Wade. Brooks. Roderick. Lily.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Under whole business, we have Baldwin Shell and Cromwell to go over the new public works police and fire training facilities. They have been working feverishly on this, and I'm excited for you all to see. This is the first time the city has actually built a building since the Harmon Center. That's not, that was actually the library building in conjunction with the building. Anyway, I'm very excited for our city, and I think it'll be something that you all will be able to show your grandkids someday, and be able to tell them that you had a part of this.
Excellent, thank you. We're going to get a little presentation going, but let me go ahead and start. So I'm Chris East, Cromwell Architects Engineer, representing a whole group of people, but I'm just here today in the principal charge. I need to get Paul Michelle, the contractor, or
Thank you, Chris. Drew Williams with Baldwin Shell is here again. Got my team of estimators and senior project manager here. So I've got several of my team members that are here today. They've been helping us put this whole budget process together. So I'm the guy you see all the events. These are the guys that actually done this stuff.
They did work.
They did the work, absolutely. 100% did the work and have all the answers. So, Cameron, and Gary, and Tom here is there to support this.
Great. Well, I'll just start by giving a quick overview and then Tom can. All right.
Oh, that's okay.
Going on the board, that's right. So I'll just go over a real brief sort of overview of the project, we'll go to the plans, go to the site, and then we'll talk about the cost and through that. I don't know if you all remember, but we started this close to a year ago, and working with the mayor, with Brian, with Chief Hager, Chief Sawyer, we really, I think, come to a point where everybody seems to be on the same page in terms of what we're getting, and most importantly, also what we're able to afford with the budget that we have. The project itself, I'll just go ahead and move to this. This is just an overall site plan. The project itself has two main components. There's a part to the north, which is up to the top edge of the page, which I'll really get into detail. And that's what the public works facility is. And then on the south side, on the bottom of the sheet, is where we have the shooting range and future fire training tower. So the majority, the bulk of the work is happening on the north-hand side, which you see here. Of course, the site is on the edge of Landers Road and 2 miles. So right where Landers Road ends. As part of this, we have a administrative building, and a combined street drainage, sanitation, and vehicle maintenance facility. Additionally, there's a wash bay that supports those two functions, as well as several little outdoor structures for material storage and the sort of things that we really need in order to operate a public works facility. The administration building is the one that is really out front, and it is what you'll be able to see from the road. And in that administration facility, we actually have multiple different departments, so not just public works, but public works, of course, is the main tenant. Also space for police, as well as room for the fire department. So sort of everything that you see to the left in that light blue is training. So we have a training facility, offices for public works. We have break room, bathrooms, a gym for the police with showering facilities, and then also about six seats for the police officers, and then 7 for the actual police military. So this is all up front. So part of the process that we went through also is to combine a lot of the uses that we started off with. So we really started here. We're able to do that by collaborating, working together, all the different departments as well as, of course, it is based on who's using it. So basically, the purple is Public Works, Office, Administration. The police officers, that's the ones sort of there on the bottom of the sheet, that's in blue, the seat there. Shared amenities are the ones that are in that sort of darker blue, and circulation, of course, is in white. Maintenance and operations buildings, so this is really where it all happens. What we have here is combined maintenance and operations building. Everything you see that's in that yellow portion, that's actually enclosed, what you can probably think of as a shop. So that's where they do maintenance on police cars, on everything that basically moves, has oil, needs to be maintained. That is a bit of an oversimplification, but it's where it really happens. Adjacent to that are all of your support spaces. Everything from art storage to offices to maintain records to break room. We also have large staff lounge, bathrooms, locker rooms, and trying to create a space that not only works for your 9 to 5, 8, Monday to Friday, but also on those really heavy work days where you have ice and they're really there 24 hours a day. These guys are burning the gun, so they need to have enough support spaces to do all of that work. Additionally, there is room for future growth. So I don't want to get into too much necessarily, but there is room for future growth when funds become available to really support a lot of the functions, storage needs that Goliath has. Additionally, wash bay building, really not much to this, honestly. Place for you to clean off all your vehicles as you come in. But that is sort of the main overview. And over to the contract. Oh, but is that you, Brian?
Everybody's dodging that.
So, I guess. All right. Well, stand next to you.
I may give you a little, just back history on the process we go through. We go through what's called a 3-step cost evaluation process where we take, as Chris alluded to, very basic program set of drawings. We go in and we budget that and we report back to clients. Second step is what's referred to as the design and development. After that initial schematic level meeting, as Chris said, with the department heads in the room, we start to define things as we knew more information. Problem of it in turn is you design, develop, set of drawings, we budgeted it, came back in, make some more revisions. Cromwell finished what we refer to as 100% construction documents. In other words, his project is on paper, and we can take that set of drawings and go build it. Prior to that, however, we write individual training packages as part of our GMP agreement to request submitted to establish the guaranteed maximum price. We just completed that effort about 8 or 9 days ago, about 8 or 9 days ago, reported back, and after all of our efforts, bear with me 1 minute, please. The initial or the final bids came in and were tabulated at, I think I had well, I know, but I need to read this. At the end of the construction bid phase, the project came in at $12,761,574. So subsequent to that, we went through a value engineering or cost reduction exercise, and the project now stands at $12,050,000 with an additive alternate, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze, with an additive alternate that pushes it to $12,700,000. Additive alternate. The project was designed and budgeted with all of that site area you saw having 12 inches of what's referred to as class 7 or gravel parking. We wanted to go ahead and present it two ways, with asphalt and without. Here's what I need to make the city of Sherwood aware of, is that this gravel, if it sets more than about 4 or 5 months, you run the risk, if you do decide to pay this at a later date, of having to rework approximately 2/3 of that gravel base. In other words, you're going to pay for it. You're going to pay for it one way or another. My recommendation, and I've been doing this is my 44th year as a constructor. For the money that it would cost you as close as 2 years from now, you really should consider taking 12/7 and paving it now. It's going to make for a neater, cleaner, more efficient facility. It's going to be a lot less operating headaches for everybody.
And they can speak to, you know, the and basically what they explained to me was that a couple of things. A, when the city was given the number of 10 million, that was by an engineering firm that was just taking a stab in the dark and getting a general, $200 a square foot. Well, when you're talking about, you know, mechanic bays and all these other things, I mean, right now, $200 a square foot is what some homes, you know, are running, let alone having to have the kind of things that Brian needs. And then also with inflation, my concern is that the longer we wait, that price tag is only going to get steeper, not better. So if you want to kind of speak to your inflation analysis.
This project was budgeted at $10 million mark. If you look at average construction cost index inflation, if you look at the last 4 years, average construction costs have risen 7.3% per year. You can't take 10 million and say 7.03. What year was the 10 million budget established? If it's 2021, it compounds every year. That would bring you at $10 million to an adjusted 2024 value of $11,994,000 just on base inflation.
And I will say as well, and Brian can speak to this, the budget that had been proposed before I came to office also had an additional $500,000 in it for more site prep work. That we're not even adding that to his numbers, in terms of all that. So this is really not out of line, although it's a large amount from the city. The other thing too is that this does more than just help public works with their needs. This also helps the police with their needs. They are very cramped, they don't have training space. It will help them tremendously in terms of being able to get their classwork done, and their certifications, and their interview processes. It helps them with recruitment, having, a gym that people can go to when the Harmon Center's closed, for example. We don't have a place that's open all the time. This helps also with fire and that, but they will be paying for theirs separately. So this gives growth. It gives Brian everything that he was needing. It gives the Chief Hager everything that he was needing in terms of the police, which is an added that we didn't even take into account back when we started this originally.
It gives you a very unique multi-function ability. Also, I don't know if Chris, I don't know if you mentioned this, also gives them a qualification shooting range. Right? At the south end. Lake Christian.
Hey, Tom, real fast, I'm sorry, I caught, it was 12,700,000 for the paved parking, what was it for the gravel parking?
Oh, I'm sorry.
12,050,000.
Right. I apologize. Hold on one second. All right. With traffic, and I will repeat this, I probably wasn't speaking in the microphone. 12,050,000.
That's okay, I think you're right, I mean, we can do your motion, you're right.
And 12,700,000.
I got this 12,700,000.
Okay.
And this is for the, and we bought this in 1 year, we got the property,
2023.
2023, and how many acres did we buy? 24 acres, and we buy enough land for us, or we can buy additional land.
No, we have plenty of them.
If you look at the overall site plan and stuff there, I'll let you right.
There's, I mean, for what we have right now, it fulfills the needs for decades, but if at some point we double, triple in size, I mean, we still have all this other area in which we can expand. Not only can the buildings expand on either side, but then there's also a lot more land to expand as well.
It seems like we walked this way longer and seems like this has been going on for a long time.
Yes. The other,
Right.
yes, it has been talked about for a very long time. I asked about time frame as well. If we are able to go ahead and get this approved, say November, then we're looking at them being finished November of 25.
I'll speak to the time frame. It'll take about a year for the program. We expect it. If we could get it going by Thanksgiving, maybe for the center, start the commission process, we can be done within the county.
In terms of finances, there's several, different options. We had talked about doing the 5 and 5. We can also use, we could split it, also take $1 million out of street fund reserves, which would still leave us an ample amount in there if you wanted to do, an extra 1.7 out of general and do, the 1 million out of street. And that's, an option that you all would like to do. The other thing is, we could also do 6 million bond, 6 million, out of the reserves that we have committed, so. 1 million more than what we committed, and that extra million could once again come out of streets or it can come out of general. The thing that Ryan is explaining to me is that the street fund reserve has stricter legal things which it can be spent on. This would be one of them. However, so if the general fund, it's a lot easier. So if there ever was something to where, say, something catastrophic happened on the street side, then you'd be able to then, you can always supplement in the general fund, but you can't go the other way, is what I'm trying to say. And the other thing I just wanted to remind everybody too, we were very fortunate in that we just got allocated a $4 million grant, but that would have had to have come out of a lot of really on streets engine. So, however, we wouldn't have had enough just streets. So, we got this blessing and then I got this news. So we're still in the positive by, quite a bit, but.
We were talking earlier about the reserves and that we were 5 million was 2.7 million. We're actually 5 million was 2.7 million plus the man take another 1.7 million.
For budgeting purposes, yes. Not anticipating, once again, we don't typically, it's not in recent history we actually used that budgeted amount of reserve, but still, yes. No. Calling to.
So if we're speaking about general fund reserves right now, we have about 20.5 million, not considering what has been committed for the 2024 budget, which is about 9.6. I think on one of the pages that you had earlier this evening shows that if, considering 2 months of operating revenues or expenditures were held aside, that was probably 4.6, 4.8, sorry, I'm trying to find my piece of paper among all these papers that I have. So, yes, so if you look at that sheet where it says, assuming that what was committed this year out of reserves, which is 9.6, less our current, subtracted from our current 20.6, that would be about $11 million. 2 months worth of budgeted revenues is 4.8 million. But we discussed before, the 9.6 we believe will go back into fund balance at the end of the year. If for some reason it didn't, holding 4.8 million aside for 2 months worth, you would still have, $6.2 million.
$6.2 million, which would hold the additional 2.7 that we need for the project at current budget amount.
Correct.
Without allowing the fact that we think the 9 from this year still may go back into. That's the.
Almost guaranteed times.
Correct.
If you want to be more conservative, you could, like you said, you can always get money from general to streets. You can't get money from streets to general, so you can be more conservative. You take 1 from streets, like they proposed, and take 1.7 from general. And then streets get that back. Get it back to streets. You can't get it from streets to general. So, I would, that would be my proposal, 1 from streets and 1.7 from general. Make it short.
And when I discussed it with Brian, he said felt like that would leave plenty of reserves for, you could imagine anything he said costing what we had reserves, but
It looks like, I think I'll let you go, that we should have somewhere around $5 million in here. So, taking $1 million from this, and then they have to budget for next year. That's fairly equal to about $2 million. The dark balance increase money. There's already, in this year's budget, there's $400,000 already budgeted to cover the street enclosure portion of the public building project. We'll add another $700,000 to the payment, which we really need. I don't really like the idea of operating something out of asphalt.
I would agree. I think that's just,
That's
I like it.
It's cheaper now than it ever been.
I'd like to see our proposal in front of this and why.
well, I would be happy to do that. We just, I wanted to find out what you all, right, so what you all wanted to do in terms of, and what we could do is, kind of put in writing, like maybe the 3 different options, and then you all could see it. The other thing too is we wanted to see if you all would be open to a quick special city council meeting where we could address this particular issue so that the sooner they get moving, then we have, it would benefit them in terms of weather and everything else. But I didn't want to do anything without, since most of the committee meetings are not meeting in November.
Would it help? And we're happy to do this, to do these all the time.
That's $2 million. $2 million.
Sure. As soon as one of y'all hires me, because if I agree with that, I'm gonna be fired. We can take our schedule and we can look at the budget and we can give you what's referred to as a draw schedule. Yes. And basically what that does is it forecasts the billings every month. We'd be happy to do that. It helps you do your payment analysis. We'd be able to do that for you.
That'd be a question for Colleen.
Yes.
We'll get you one.
That would help us. So like with the bonds, for example, we have not done anything to issue that as we watch the interest rates get better for us. So even though Stevens was like, I'm trying to issue it, no.
We find it beneficial
Yes.
with our clients to provide that. It helps them manage their cash a lot better.
The gentleman said, if you know something about it, you can get it started by Thanksgiving. You think you can get it done in the calendar year next year?
Yes.
How soon before Thanksgiving you can get it done?
We have some pricing exercises we still have yet to do, take off budgets. They're fairly specified.
Okay.
On those, working on some revised documents to help absorb some of the value. So we have a small exercise that takes probably about 5 to 10 days. At that point, we will have solidified numbers that we will discuss here. And then based on that, we will submit to the mayor at that point in time, those, and then y'all give that notice to proceed at that point in time. We're off the rest.
So if we can do it within the next 2 weeks and get it to the paper in the next.
I would say 3 weeks. I would say 3 weeks. Let us do our exercises and y'all have about 50 days.
All right.
I've requested not to go in tomorrow. Got some people here.
Sure.
I concur.
3, Monday the 18th. It'll be 3 weeks from now.
That sounds good.
You won't have to be the planning board.
I would agree. Monday, the 27th.
Mr. Williams is gonna be out of town.
Okay, when you back or when you leave, like, do I, which way do I move it? Okay, how about, is there,
Before is fine.
or is
No. Thursday, I mean, on Thursday, Friday, and then I think following is.
okay, with the 12th,
What about Thanksgiving? When's Thanksgiving?
it's at the end of the month, with, Tuesday the 12th, you cannot do the 12th, can you do Monday, the 11th? That is Veterans Day, I believe, you will mind coming in on Veterans Day?
City closed.
Yes, but we can open
About town, are they out of town or anything? Or all day?
Yes.
You can have a day off, just leave it now.
Would that work for you all?
That's going to put us a little bit of a time crunch for us. Yeah, 3 weeks, that's
Okay, okay, and then Councilmember Sanders, you said you were coming back Wednesday, the 20th? How about Thursday, the 21st?
nice.
Councilmember Williams, are you here on the 21st? Councilmember Thomas is good, Councilmember Roderick is good, Councilmember Sanders. Thursday, the 21st. Okay.
Yes.
While you're looking, yes, okay, yes, Councilmember Lilly, okay, Councilmember Harden, okay. Then, we'll set it for Thursday, the 21st at 6 o'clock. Is everybody good with that? All right, thank you all so much, and we'll see you back then. Also, under old business, I did email you all, it was in the news and so forth, the news that we did receive that, $4 million grant for Jackson Potato, that was the largest that anybody received, so, for sure. Anybody have anything to go over right now under new business? No. Okay, under announcements, we've got hydrant testing by the Sherwood Fire Department continues until November 1st. November 4th is the last day of early voting, with November 5th is election day. On November 4th, I believe the Sherwood early voting is closed. Okay. Election day, polls will be open from 7:30 to 7:30. There was a confusion 2 years ago. You do not go to the First Christian Church. You wait for election day, you go to your designated polling place. November 7th, please mark your calendars for the Night of Remembrance, which will be at City Hall Park at 6:30 p.m. It's a beautiful evening with music, an opportunity to write a person's name on the back that you would like to remember, and put a luminary in it and put it on the trail for others to be able to see those names. We have November 8th, a Veterans Day tribute at 8 a.m. at the Jack Evans Senior Center. We're really excited. Our American Legion group will be leading that. November 11th is Veterans Day as a holiday, and city offices will be closed. Monday garbage will be picked up the following day on Tuesday. December 7th will be Winterfest. It will be led off by the parade at 10 a.m. and it will close at 8 p.m. Are there any other announcements? Okay. At this time, the City Council may allow public comment if they so wish.
Anyone sign up?
We say, Hartman, you don't want me to speak? Go ahead. I'm calling the law, sir.
Sir, this is your warning. It's not appropriate to speak out from the audience. It's against the.
I said I'm never going to say no in public comment. Thank
Okay, Mr. Levy. You have 3 minutes.
Can you let me get that volume, sir, first?
I have to start the clock.
Okay. First, I'm here for the people, not reading law. The people in a procurement law in the state of Arkansas, the ones that got the information fine, I don't care. Because I did all my due diligence before this. But according to the Keel Avenue sidewalks, the mayor has signed over 10 invoices and purchase orders to get under the threshold of $35,000. Total amount spent today is $200,000 by state statute. That's illegal. You can't piece or divide project under that threshold. Then I'll make it quick because I'll get to this. Then the TIPS program, in order for not to get bids, used outside company, used the TIPS program, which is very inaccurate on the pricing with pickleball courts costing about approximately $250,000. The handicap playground costs $315,000, no bids. And plus using this TIPS program illegally because you can't use TIPS for capital improvements. You can call the state of Arkansas legislative audit on that. Can't use it. Plus, the prices are outrageous for 2 pickleball courts, $250 million. I got prices all over the country that were less than half of that, less than half. And the mayor did this all for political gain. It's at the city hall. She told people before she went out for election, and things will come out over this when the public gets word on this for bribery. Taking money, I got names of people, we just haven't brought them up yet, for bribery, because she promised people that they will get certain things if they give her campaign money. So that's where we are. I don't want to be interrupted. I'm not even looking at you. So, and that's where we're at.
That's not germane to the topic that you said.
Quit interrupting. This is free speech. This is my first minute that I'm exercising in city attorney. If you want to interrupt me again, you don't allow me to speak.
30 seconds.
No, I get 30 more seconds because you interrupted me. I can speak whatever I want to speak about up here. It's my First Amendment right, and I knew you were going to interrupt me. So, and all this is going to be on the news anyway, so it doesn't matter. And she's smirking, and I hope my video gets smirking. She thinks this is funny. She comes out here and engages me as a resident and as a taxpayer viciously while I'm talking to a resident, and we got that on camera too. That's misconduct, and I want you all to.
We have a motion by Councilmember Norman and a second by Councilmember Wayford.
All right.
Do you need authority? No, they're all insane. Okay, listen.
Hey, Mr. Marcus. Sergeant Marcus.
So it's 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Okay, folks, I have to shut down. I got to get out of here, but I'll do interviews and some more videos about this situation later, or this massive federal lawsuit and misuse of taxpayer funds. So.